But and it's the manner of it as well. You know, the manner of the game on Wednesday. Yeah, the team found out, but they're all big boy professionals. They're big boy professionals. They can still go out on the pitch and not put in an absolutely horror show that they did in the second half. The first half was better than the second half, but they knew about Rutter beforehand anyway. So then the whole game would have been horrendous, but it wasn't. The first half was okay. You know, it was 50-50, wasn't it? The second half they completely went off a cliff. So my indicator, you can't just blame it on Rutter. Like it was a bad performance, wasn't it?
And odd substitutions. What did he send on 5 players at once in the Borough game as well? I mean, it's half the team coming on. It's odd, isn't it? It's just odd. So I don't know. I think you're getting back to what you said. What about West Brom? We're going to lose that one 2-1, Connor. Fortunately.
Yeah. It's Corbran against him again as well. He's not won against Corbran for us yet, and it just feels like, I don't know what it is, Dad, but maybe this sounds really negative, but maybe it's just a cap on, like, if they lose this weekend, it's just a cap. It's not too early to resolve this stuff, but it's a cap on, it's to the 49ers. If they've still not realised yet how bad it can get, and I feel like and I'm not saying I want Leeds to lose, but I feel like there's almost, it's bittersweet in a sense, because you're still going to get the fans at the end giving it if they lose the game. You just know it's going to, and we don't want it to be like that. But could it be an even bigger wake up call to the 49ers? Like, look what it's getting like right now. You don't want this.
It could well be, and maybe some of the fans are looking at it from that perspective. You know, if the game does go against us, maybe there's not an opportunity for them to be really vocal against the 49ers and send a message. It'll be interesting, and obviously with it being televised live on Sky, then that's going to be picked up, isn't it? It's going to be loud, and they'll certainly mention it as a news, as part of the briefing if Leeds do lose, and the protests afterwards against 49ers. So that message will get back.
Well, we spoke about, you know, we've tried to speak about replacements as well. There's Johnny Rowe, and there's others who've sort of gone amiss. Jubicic seems to have gone extremely quiet, but the one I think that is probably, you know, as good as Somerville in terms of a footballer at this level. We all rate him massively highly, a former Leeds player. Obviously, we very, very much enjoyed in Bielsa's first season, first half anyway.
Local to us around here as well.
Local boy from, where was he from in York? Was he Osbaldwick? I thought it was near Aircombe, but Osbaldwick. And you feel like he'd jump at the chance a little bit to maybe come back this way. Ian Hart's his agent. Yeah, Ian Hart was at Ellen Road the other day. I mean, it's Jack Clarke, obviously. I mean, is it even? Should we even be talking about this? Because you are looking 20 million minimum, aren't you? And
do you think, Connor? Do you think it'd be that much? Yeah. Well, maybe that's what they want. It's whether they get that.
Yeah. Well, okay, yeah, but then, okay, and maybe that's the series. But I just see it now. Maybe we've just been burnt so much. There's like even Johnny Rowe when other clubs came in, and people were speaking about at the beginning of the window. Jubicic had 3 or 4 other clubs looking at him. It feels like right now that if you're Ian Hart, I'm trying not to be negative here. I'm trying to look at it, but I just don't see movements. How can you be positive? You're based on evidence and facts. But I feel if I'm Ian Hart, I'm just going, just wait a bit. Wait 8 or 9 days and you'll get Premier clubs coming in. You might get a Brentford. You might get a Palace. Someone will come in, you're good enough, and we'll push it. And it just feels, then you're looking at Ian Hart getting a bigger bonus as an agent. We know this all works in the agent's favour, don't we? I just can't see it happening.
Yeah, you see, from Jack Clarke's point of view, Connor, you can't see it happening. Well, it would be the massive lift that we need as fans if we got him, wouldn't it? And it would definitely lift.
But we need more.
This pole around Ellen Road, wouldn't it? It would definitely lift that. And what a signing it would be. And it'd be very, very popular, I'm sure. But yeah, I think you're right. You know, from his point of view, he'd be thinking, you know, I've had one nod at Premier League football. It didn't work for me. I've had a great, how long's he been at Sunderland? A season, maybe a season and a half, 2 seasons. And he's without a doubt their best player, like Somerville was. And he may well be thinking, you know, I don't want to stick around in the Championship. I want to reignite my career and I want a chance at the Premier League again.
Is Leeds that now, though? Is that when we're talking about the chance at the Premier League? If you're Jack Clarke and you're looking at Leeds now, you're probably still thinking, obviously, they've got a very good squad. You know, you're probably thinking, you know, that it's a good young squad. But I guess Sunderland's a good young squad, and you know, they're still a massive club like we are.
Of course they are, yeah. They are a huge club, Sunderland. You know, and maybe this is what Jack Clarke's looking at. I mean, he knows Leeds. He was a Leeds player, and he may well be thinking, well, it's a sideways move for me to go to Leeds. You know, they're an equally big club as, you know, we'd like to think we're a bigger club, but they are a massive club, Sunderland. There's no doubt about that. And from Jack's point of view, he may well be thinking, I want something more. I've been at Leeds once. I've experienced it there. I know what it's like. What difference is there going to be for me going to Leeds? You know, it's a sideways move. So I think you're right. I think we'll be very lucky. I'm not sure whether Rowe's the right answer. You know, it would be maybe long term once he developed, like Somerville was a couple of years ago. I know he's still a young lad, but we really need somebody like Jack Clarke, who we know can come straight in and is going to produce.
Yeah, I feel Rowe's got the numbers and he's done well. I think Clarke brings the added benefit of, like you've said, I think he brings the crowd up. He's done it before, and I just feel that he knows the area. I know this sounds all ridiculous, but these are just the extra little bits on top of which you can separate him and Rowe. We know Clarke's a fantastic runner. He tore us apart, didn't he, at the stadium? Up against Archie Gray, he absolutely ripped him a new one. And you just know that a player like Rowe,
massive lift.
And I think Rowe is a good player, and he's got, you know, his time to develop and stuff like that. Would he need more time to settle? We've been a bit foreign to these parts. Probably Jack Clarke, you feel, would acclimatise straight away and hit the ground running straight into the starting 11. It was interesting as well. Farkas, I don't know if you caught in his press conference, but he said something of the lines of, you know, we're quite happy, and he gave a bit of a wry smile and said, you know, in the couple of days I expect sort of movement. I don't know if you caught that, but I don't know.
Well, let's see. I mean, how many times have we heard that? Nothing happens. You know, we were told before the window that it was going to be a solid window and we'd be in a better position than we were at the end of the season. And look at where we are. He's, you know, it was dealt a bum deal the other day, wasn't he? You know, again, the 49ers were missing, and he was pushed out to the front, just like many Leeds managers in the past have been, having to fend questions from the media, very difficult questions. And it was shameful what they did to Farker the other day, pushing him out there.
I don't think I've seen Twitter like this since, like, you know, they lost 4-0 Bournemouth, and you had bloody Radrizzani messaging me, and Twitter was an absolute cesspit, and the online was a cesspit. You speak to anyone in the street in and around it, it was awful. It feels like that now. It's a really bad vibe.
There's a bad vibe about
yeah,
it,
there is. It's not good.
Isn't it amazing how things can change around in the space of a week? It's incredible. I mean, look at this. A week ago, we were looking forward to the start of the season, you know, and everything was good. Everything was rosy. We'd lost 2 players. Yeah, we're just beating Valencia, and then we're all really looking forward to the start of the season. And look at it 6 days on.
Do you know what I'm just hoping? I'm hoping we don't have that scenario where, let's say if we beat West Brom, and then they almost you know, season's kicked off and they think that that's all right. You know, like we've had before with Orta and Rads, when, for example, we beat Bournemouth and we beat Liverpool, and remember they kept Marsh on. You're hoping still the 49ers don't think, you know, let's say if we've got a really good result tomorrow, the 49ers don't just rest on the laurels a little bit and go, oh, okay, maybe, you know, we've kick-started now. I'm just hoping that they stick with, if there is an original plan to go for someone like Jack Clarke, they've got to stick to that, and they've got to stick. How many did they need?
They need 4 or 5, easy.
I said 5.
They need 4 or 5, but there's no way they're going to bring those in.
No, they're not.
They're not going to bring them in. And I'd like to see where Red Bull are in this, because when they came on board as sponsors, you know, it was all about, the 49ers being able to call upon the experience of Red Bull in situations like this because of their understanding of European football. Well, I know they've not been on board very long, Connor, but what's going on there? We're seeing nothing at all, are we? I know there was the Lubicic one, which has all gone quiet. Whether that came from any of the Red Bull people, I really don't know. But nothing's happening. Nothing at all.
From what we know, anyway.
From what we know.
Right, guys, well, we'll leave it there anyway. It's been about 30 minutes and that dog's just started yapping. It's been an absolute pleasure. Make sure you're, as I say, liking the stuff, commenting, and Dad, cheers for joining me.
Not at all, Connor. See you all. Bye.
And we'll see you soon. Cheers.